Tatsuro Taira has the opportunity to make history by becoming the first UFC champion from Japan when he takes on Joshua Van at UFC 328. And today we will be going through the Japanese Wonder Kid's UFC career so far. We were first introduced to 22-year-old Taira when he took on Carlos Candelario at UFC Fight Night Blachowicz versus Rakic. The first round was mostly contested on the feet. Taira landed some good leg kicks, good straight punches. He was looking good on the feet. He could not really get a takedown, but he did get Carlos Candelario down for a brief second, but he could not really hold on to it. Carlos Candelario actually managed to get a takedown on Taira at the end of the round, but nothing really happened. In the second round, Taira dropped Candelario badly with a straight right hand, managed to get the back. In fact, he managed to cinch on a triangle choke at the end of the round. It wasn't really in, and Carlos Candelario managed to survive. In the third round, he got a takedown on Candelario and he managed to hold on till the end of the round. Carlos Candelario nearly got a guillotine at the end of the round, but it wasn't tight enough, and Tatsuro Taira got out of the guillotine and ended the fight in mount, securing himself a victory in his UFC debut. In his second fight, he took on CJ Vergara. Tatsuro got a takedown quickly into the fight. He was trying to take the back. He didn't succeed. CJ Vergara got up. He got a takedown again, and CJ Vergara reversed position on him. It was a close round, but I think Tatsuro landed the better shots on the feet, especially with the leg kicks. But in the second round, he got CJ Vergara down pretty much as soon as the round started. He had his back, and from the back, he transitioned to the armbar and defeated CJ Vergara at 4 minutes 19 seconds of round two, securing his first finish in the UFC. In the third fight of his UFC career, he took on Jesus Aguilar. For whatever reason, Jesus Aguilar pulled guillotine to the ground as soon as the fight started for no good reason. But Tatsuro Taira is too slick for that shit. He got out of it, took Jesus Aguilar's back, and submitted him with a triangle armbar from bottom. Amazing victory by Tatsuro Taira, securing his second straight finish in the UFC. In the fourth fight of his UFC career, Taira took on Edgar Shearez. He got knocked down pretty badly in the first round with a straight right hand, but Edgar Shearez pulled guillotine for whatever reason. Again, second time in a row, someone pulls a guillotine against the sensational grappler in Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira got out of the guillotine and then managed to get control Shearez from half guard for the entirety of the first round. In the second round, Taira went for a double leg takedown. Edgar Shearez pulled guillotine to the bottom again. Tatsuro Taira again controlled Shearez for the entirety of the round, and he even got the back at one point. At the end of the round, he tried to cinch in a triangle choke from the bottom. He wasn't quite in, but Tatsuro did win that round quite convincingly. In the third round, Shearez was controlling Tatsuro Taira on the feet. He was landing great shots. Tatsuro Taira was landing some good leg kicks. But again, Edgar Shearez pulled guillotine as soon as Tatsuro Taira went for the takedown. Tatsuro managed to control him for a while. At the end of the round, Shearez had a guillotine in from bottom, but that wasn't enough. Tatsuro had done enough to secure the victory in the first and second rounds. In the fifth fight of his UFC career, Tatsuro Taira took on Carlos Hernandez. He tried to take Carlos Hernandez down pretty much as soon as the fight started. Carlos Hernandez managed to get back up. Tatsuro Taira got another takedown, got Carlos Hernandez's back after that, and he managed to control Hernandez for almost the entirety of the first round. In the second round, as they were exchanging a little bit, Tatsuro was landing some kicks. He then landed a straight right hand down the pipe and knocked Carlos Hernandez out cold. This was Taira's first KO victory in the UFC. A great performance by Tatsuro Taira, showed good patience from the back control, and good power in his hands as well. And he showed an evolution in his game. I think there were some apprehensions about Tatsuro Taira's striking ability in the beginning of his UFC career, but he was showing that he's getting better with the footwork and better with the technique and power as well. In his next fight, he took on former title challenger Alex Perez. Tatsuro didn't really go for takedowns in the first round. Alex Perez was clinching. He was landing decent shots on Taira. A lot of them were bouncing off Taira's kind of top of his forehead, his forearms. But what Tatsuro Taira was doing really well in the first round was cinching up the thigh clinch. Every time Perez was trying to close the distance, Tatsuro was just getting the thigh plum and shooting knees right down the middle, hurting Perez to the body at times and making him a little bit hesitant to go in for the clinch. He timed a really good uppercut as Alex Perez was going for a clinch at one point. Tatsuro showed good patience on the feet, hanging in there with the then fifth ranked Alex Perez. A huge jump up in competition from the guy he had fought previously, which was Carlos Hernandez. In the second round, Tatsuro Taira goes for the takedown against the side of the cage and manages to take Alex Perez's back. He is standing, Alex Perez is standing, and he has Perez's back. And as Alex Perez kind of tries to shuck him off, he goes to the ground and he hurts his rib. And that was all. It's a leg injury to Perez. Either way, Perez suffers an injury, and that was the end of the fight. Huge victory for Tatsuro Taira in his first main event. This fight put Taira on the map as a dangerous challenger for the flyweight title. Alex Perez is no joke. He's has some great victories, and this was a big win for Taira's career. Now, this fight, if y'all haven't seen it, gotta watch it. What a fucking fight! Brandon Royval against Tatsuro Taira. Brandon Royval dominates the first round, lands some great 1-2s, some good hooks, good straight left hands. Tatsuro Taira goes in for a takedown at one point. Brandon Royval rolls and kind of has a submission attempt in the first round, tries to catch a knee bar. In the second round, as Brandon Royval is going a little wild, he goes for the knee, and Tatsuro Taira manages to get a takedown and controls Brandon Royval from the back for the entirety of the round. Shows great back control. If y'all haven't watched the second round of this fight, it was so good to watch. Brandon Royval doing great stuff to keep himself safe on the ground while trying to get out. But Tatsuro Taira's control from the back is so good. I think he's pretty much up there with Aljamain Sterling, and that's a huge compliment. But in the third round, yeah, Brandon Royval has Tatsuro Taira almost finished. Tatsuro goes in for the takedown. Brandon Royval lands some really good elbows to the side of the head. As they disengage, Brandon Royval lands a 1-2. He lands a three-piece combo ending with an uppercut at one point. Has Tatsuro Taira rocked all over the place, but Tatsuro Taira shows some amazing survivability and actually gets Brandon Royval's back at the end of the round, but and nearly chokes him out. The choke wasn't really under the neck, it was on the chin, but still it was looking very dangerous. In the fourth round, Tatsuro Taira gets the takedown and controls Brandon Royval from the back for the entire round. In the fifth round, it's 2-2, with Brandon Royval winning rounds 1 and 3 and Tatsuro Taira winning round 2 and 4. Brandon Royval is controlling the fight on the feet in the beginning of the round. Taira goes for the takedown, but Brandon Royval manages to get back up. He kind of rocks Taira on the feet. He tries to go for the guillotine, and he manages to get Tatsuro Taira's back in the fight. He switches to mount. He switches to the back control again and ends the fight, pounding away at Tatsuro Taira. Secures himself the fifth round and the fight. And I can't stress this enough. If y'all haven't watched this fight, I highly recommend you do so. I've watched this fight so many times, and it continues to inspire me. Brandon Royval and Tatsuro Taira both showed championship mettle in this fight. In this next fight, Tatsuro Taira took on Hyun Sung Park, who's actually the flyweight winner of Road to UFC Season 1. He was scheduled to take on Amir Albazi, who predictably pulled out of the fight. This was such a dominant performance by Taira. He lands a big right hand in the first round, controlled Hyun Sung Park for the entirety of the round from the back. In the second round, he goes for a blast double, pushes Hyun Sung Park against the side of the cage, takes him down, takes his back, and chokes him out. What a performance by Tyra. Sometimes the hardest wins to get are the ones you're supposed to get. And Tyra showed that even on short notice, he's not scared to take on anyone. He truly believes he's the best in the world, and he shows that he's leveled up after the Brandon Royval fight. And in his last fight, this was the biggest win of Tyra's career against the former champion Brandon Moreno. In the first round, Tyra tries to get the takedown. Brandon Moreno, for the longest time of the fight, has a triangle cinched up from the bottom, but Tyra shows some great survivability against the capable grappler in Brandon Moreno. But in the second round, Tyra shows a different level of dominance, grabs Brandon Royval with the body lock, gets the outside trip, takes him down, takes the back, and pounds him out. What a performance by Tyra against the former champion, and this sets him up to take on the incumbent Joshua Van at UFC 328. I think Tatsuro Taira's best assets are his straight punches, his leg kicks, and of course, his control from the back and his patience in grappling positions are so beyond his age. He's just 26 years old, and his maturity as a fighter is second to none. I'm so amped up for this fight. And man, Tatsuro Taira is a huge flyweight. I think even if he goes up to a bantamweight, he'll do really well against many fighters. And I'm so pumped to see what Tatsuro Taira does in his next fight and beyond. Let me know what y'all think. Will Tatsuro Taira become the next champion, or will Joshua Van retain the title? I'll see y'all soon. Peace.